Um, Thanks for joining for week 3 of Keep Up the Good Work. I don't know how many weeks there will be, but there will be weeks. And I'm gonna turn this down a little. I'm gonna have 2 people on today. And first, Dr. Delia, or Delia, Dr. Delia. I have a friend named, his last name is Delia, and Dan Domenech. So you're in for a treat. I'm looking forward to catching up with these guys. I haven't talked to them in a minute. So I'm gonna bring John in right now, who, let me see, here we go, Dr. Delia. John, you there? Johnny. Thanks for joining. All these comments. There he is. John Freeman in the flesh.
Howdy, howdy.
How you doing?
I'm pretty good.
Where are you at this current moment?
This is my apartment.
Okay.
Currently vacant, except for me.
Are you in Bushwick?
Bed-Stuy.
Bed-Stuy. Okay, cool. So you have a house though.
Yeah, it's a townhouse.
You have an empty house, so everybody in your house shoot out of there. Quickly.
Yeah, everybody left except me, so now I have this like 3-story townhouse, just hanging out, gardening.
It's a pretty good deal.
It is a pretty good deal.
You have a garden in the back? I
do have a garden.
So you're solely responsible for keeping these plants alive?
Yeah, it's a lot of weight when you put it like that. But yeah, if I mess up, they all die, and I have plant genocide on my hands.
Oh my gosh. Do you have any like edible plants, like cucumbers or
Sure.
tomatoes?
There's beans, there's tomatoes, there's grapes. Although the grapes take years to grow in. I didn't realize that when I read on Etsy. But, you know, lots of herbs.
If someone was starting a garden, what would you recommend as like the easiest thing to grow? What can you not stop growing?
The easiest thing to grow is probably rosemary. Like once you plant rosemary, it's not going to die. You can't kill it. Okay. There's nothing you can do.
So your roommates come back, there will be rosemary. You can guarantee that.
Okay. Yeah, creeping into their windows.
Good. Okay.
Seasoning them.
So I met John a couple of ways. I don't know if I knew your brother, but I always forget about this. He hit me up about you. He's like, my brother's a really good musician. You should check him out. And I was like, yeah. And then like literally like years later, our mutual friend Laurel Stuckey, who I guess you played with her in like open mics in New York, in the city. And I knew her she went to the same high school as Joe in Tally Hall. And she's like, you got to see my friend John. So I was like, okay, it's a sign. I got to go see John. And you were awesome. So we kept in touch, and I wound up working on your EP as Dr. Delia. And yeah, here we are years later. It's crazy, right?
Yeah. We first met in Cafe Vivaldi 3 years ago.
Yeah. What's the open mic scene like in New York?
Well, right now there's none. But
yeah, it's dead.
back a few years ago, there was just this incredible open mic scene.
Yeah.
You could do a different open mic every day of the week. You could do 2 in a night. And sometimes I did. And you would see, 50 acts. Like hopes and dreams on the line for like 4 to 8 minutes. And I love that.
Awesome. Yeah. I never really went to them, but honestly, I only maybe went to one, and it was yours. I saw you and Laurel playing, and Laurel's actually a great singer as well.
Yeah.
And then that was it. That was my experience with the open mics. I might have played one a long time ago. One of the first Tally Hall gigs was in Pittsburgh, and we played an open mic. And the only thing I remember about it really is this one guy goes up like with like a Bob Dylan with like the harmonica. And he played a couple songs, and the harmonica was in the wrong key both times. And it sounded, he didn't realize it. Like he wasn't like listening and like analyzing and stuff. He just like kept going, and it was hilarious.
That's the thing about.
But yeah, it's crazy.
That's the thing about open mics is if you're a guy, they're going to be Bob Dylan. And if it's a girl, they're usually going to be Joni Mitchell. Yeah. And like, that's a good 50% of the acts. And I, like, honestly, I fell into that category for a long time too.
It's crazy. Okay, well, you're gonna play one song. I worked on John's EP. He goes by Dr.Delia. And this is a song. It's a. Do you want to describe the EP?
Yeah. So the EP is this.
Yeah, I'm playing in the background. I'm gonna turn it off right now. But yeah, go for it.
The EP is this. It's this desert love story. It's just like this epic desert adventure, where a woman comes to town and this guy falls in love with her. And right after they fall in love, she's kidnapped. She's abducted by this like roving gang, who blows the main character to bits. He's not dead. He's alive. And he wakes up and he goes on this search to find her and rescue her. And it takes place in this like kind of like psychedelic desert landscape.
Awesome. Okay. Well, it's coming out sometime anyway. Let's. I'm gonna try to follow along. Rock out.
Yeah. So this one is the title song of the album. It's called Starry Girl. It's looking like a starless night. I haven't seen a road sign in 100 miles. Gone without a meal for days, and I think of all the lonely ways a man can die. Stands up, falls down. You find yourself, they shoot you down. There's many roads a man can take, but I don't see an easy way to get to you. Would it be a waste of time? Is comfort living such a crime? Do real men try to take a stand, fall back down? You find yourself and rise up. Starry girl, light me up. I find myself lost tonight. Starry girl, I need you now. Lift me up when everything is falling apart. In the desert of my mind, old ghosts and lovers pass me by and drive me mad. But despite all the confusion, I'll still hold to the illusion that I'll be your man. Stand up, I fall down, I find myself and rise up. Starry girl, light me up. I find myself lost tonight. Starry girl, I need you now. Lift me up when everything is falling apart. So during that ending bit in the song, I'm screaming at a really high pitch, but I didn't want to do that on Instagram.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. Anyway, it's out in a couple weeks, right? For that one.
That track is out June 3rd.
June 3rd. So check out Dr. Delia. And thank you, John. And be in touch.
Thank you, Andrew.
Peace. And now we're going to have Dan Domenech on. If he's around, I will try to patch him in. And we will do this. Dan. Here we go. Dan. Okay. Cool. Yeah, so thanks for jumping back in. Oh, there you are. That was quick. It actually worked quick. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Just hanging out. Killing time. Today's my last day of self-isolation.
Oh, really? It's been officially 2 weeks. But you were okay. So let me give an intro on you. We'll go into your crazy story. It's good to see you. Now you're currently calling me from Harlem.
Yeah. I'm up on 131st Street.
Okay. So I looked you up. I already knew this, but I got to give a little background. Dan Domenech, he's an American actor. Are you best known for Heather's the Musical? You're known for a bunch of stuff. Okay. We'll go with Heather's the Musical. He's been in, he started in Rock of Ages. He's toured around in that. And he's been on the TV show Glee, if you watch Glee. He's been in a ton of other musicals, including Wonderland, Sister Act. Anyway, you've done a lot of other stuff. I didn't realize you worked on an Adele music video.
Yeah, I did her first music video, Chasing Pavements.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're a multi-talented actor, director, all sorts of things. Great
I'm just trying
singer.
to spend as many places as I can so I can pay my bills.
Yeah.
That's all.
You get it done. Wherever you can. So Dan just got off a cruise ship. And I guess you want to, I don't know where to even start, but I guess it's good to say you're an actor. So part of what you do is get gigs, and one of your gigs was on a cruise ship. So what musical were you working on?
They actually have like 3 original shows that we were doing on the ship. But yeah, it was one of those things that I got an email from my agent saying, is this something that you're interested in doing? And I had never thought about doing a cruise ship before. I didn't know anything about that world. But the timing was right, and the contract was great, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. And when I got there, the atmosphere and the culture was really, really nice. We were on one of the newer cruise ships. It was just built last year. It holds 5,000 people. It's what they call a Royal class ship. It's a luxury cruise liner.
Ah.
And
Okay, nice.
So it was pretty sweet.
So are the cabin? I guess the crew cabins, are they upgraded, or is everything like super posh, or is it?
I mean, for the passengers, yeah. I mean, for us, it wasn't. The rooms aren't bad, but it's definitely the passengers get the life.
How long is a contract for a cruise ship? Like, how long were you planning on being on it?
I was supposed to be out there until October.
Okay. So a little bit of time, and 3 shows.
Yeah.
Which shows were they?
One was like it was called rock opera. It was a mix between opera and rock music that they mashed into a show. Okay. Which was great. It was like just all music music and dance. And then another one was Jim Henson's Inspired Silliness, which was kind of like they took all these old Henson sketches from when like the Ed Sullivan days. That he would do, like when he first started out, and they repurposed them for the stage. And we were like the humans that interacted with them. Because you remember the Muppets?
Yeah.
How there was always like they brought in the celebrity that interacted with
absolutely.
like Animal going crazy on the drums.
I have them all on DVD.
Yeah. So that's
great.
what we did, which is cool.
Cool. Yeah.
And then another one was called Five Skies, and that was kind of the best way I like to describe it is the Wizard of Oz in virtual reality. It's like a journey of discovery. Yeah.
So these are like cruise ship exclusive shows that are like they designed for the ship for like a certain type of audience. Okay.
Yeah. But this company they're notorious for pouring a lot of money into their entertainment, so the production value was really high, and that made for a really different experience. It was nice.
So the cast and the the cast is generally Broadway actors and super high quality. I would assume mostly American audience or actors, or it's
no. Actually, I think only 3 of us were American. I think
okay,
out of all of them, yeah. The rest were we had people from the UK, from London, like England and Scotland. We had Brazilians, Australians. Yeah.
So how long were you on before you knew something was up? Before the tides turned?
Like 2 weeks.
Okay.
Like
2 weeks
we
of doing
rehearsed.
the show? Okay, you rehearse. Like you get on the ship and you're okay. So you're prepared. You go on the ship and you're there doing the show for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got through 2 performances of the Henson show and 1 performance of the Rock show, and that was it.
So what happened? Did they make an announcement? Everybody off the ship, or what's the deal?
We saw everything that was going down on one ship. We heard the news because there was one ship that had this outbreak that happened, and so they got all the passengers off, and we just kind of hung out in the middle of the ocean waiting because we thought we didn't know that this was going to be a global pandemic just yet. It was just a problem on another ship that was nowhere near us. And so we're hanging out in the middle of the ocean waiting for things to start up again. And that's when it started getting crazy around the world. And they said, oh, shoot, we gotta stop all together for months. And we got to get everyone off the ship. Once they realized that they weren't going to get passengers back on for months at a time, that's when they said everyone's got to go. Because every day you're just burning through dollars feeding mouths.
Yeah. And you weren't allowed off the cruise ship, though.
No. We got blocked by our government from re-entering the United States because of a no-sail order. So we were stuck on the ship.
What's a no-sail order?
I have no idea.
So they're like, okay, everybody off except for you people, and there's some government thing that we don't know.
Yeah, you know what it is? I think this is the thing that now that everything's out in the open, and we've been dealing with this now for months. It was weird to see this all start with a cruise ship thing because no one talked about the 30 million flights that get taken around the world every year. Everyone was just talking cruise ships. And yet here we are on this ship. We feel really safe. It's a really clean environment. We're like, what's going on? This is actually really weird. And then also, as an American, especially when you start traveling around the world a lot and you realize how much power the American Passport Act does have, getting you into countries and letting you go places almost freely. To hear that you can't walk into your own country is weird. That is a weird feeling. You feel like the kid who got left behind at school, like everyone else's parents picked them up, and then you're sitting on the playground like, I guess my parents forgot about me.
And judging by the internet wasn't that great, so you're a little bit cut off from the world. Is that correct?
Yeah, they ended up throttling the internet because once they realized that they weren't getting revenue, they started trying to save money anywhere that they could. And so the internet, they throttled it.
That's crazy.
So that became difficult because it's something you really get used to, not just on land, but then also this ship, because it was a newer ship. Because cruise ships back in the day were notorious for having expensive, slow internet. Mm-hmm. But now this ship had very affordable and very fast. We were getting like 50 megabytes a second, and it was like $60 a month. It was like normal internet on land, right? But then for it to go to like 1995 dial-up speeds, all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, I could waste the day on the internet easy, but now you're going to slow it down. Yeah.
So did you stay in your room the entire time, or do you socialize with other cast members?
In the beginning, we were socializing, but we ended up getting put onto what's called Ard Level 3, which is a heightened sanitation level for the whole ship, which also means you have to isolate in your rooms. So you only go out for temperature checks and for meals, and they spread the meals out amongst the different departments because we had 1,300 people on there. So the meals were only
after the 1,300 crew members.
Yeah, 1,300 crew members.
That's insane.
Yeah. And so the meals were split up, so we weren't all together at the same time mixing. But it ended up being for the greater good because we ended up having no illness on the ship, and everyone was safe. But it it went from like, okay, this is cool, we can hang out and we got free reign of the ship, to, oh God, how am I going to get through each one of these days?
That is crazy. Do you read a lot? What do you do in that situation?
A lot of movies.
Okay.
A lot of video games.
What video games?
I got back into doing origami. I started to teach myself more about using logic and mixing and mastering, which I really started to enjoy.
You're like, I don't even want to know about this, but now I do.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? It's like once you get into a good workflow with anything that you're interested in, it starts to click. Like I started to learn Portuguese because three of my friends were from Brazil, and so I knew that I would practice all day, and then at dinner I would like practice my Portuguese on them, and that became like a cool, fun thing to do.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good, and ended up being good at the end of the day.
At the end, so you're back. Are there people still on that? There's still people out there on ships.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, the thing is, you need a minimum amount of people. There's like a minimum number of people that you need in order to keep the ships operating and able to, because you can't just like shut it off and park it and leave it and then start it up again 6 months later.
Why not?
You need a crew on board to keep all like the engine running. You need to keep checking the safety of everything. You got to make sure everything's clean and working, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they have people on board now doing all that. And then you also have you do have other performers and people from other countries that are still on the ships that haven't gotten home yet because their governments are putting all these restrictions in place and all these rules that they have to follow in order to let them off. So it's been a very slow process, but it's moving, which is nice.
Wow. What's the first thing you did when you got off the ship?
I ordered a pizza.
I can eat some damn pizza. Give me a pizza.
Yeah. I ordered a pizza. My friend was like, oh, you could stay at my place in Harlem. I was like, great, sure, why not? And so I just dropped my bags here. I got here and everything was closed. I didn't know everything in New York was closing at 8 o'clock. I didn't know that was like a thing. And so,
is it a thing? I don't know. I got out of the city. I don't even know anymore.
That's what I was told. I was told everything here closes at 8 now, and the subway closes overnight. Yeah,
it might be like a handful of people that are like, I want the city to myself, and they're spreading these crazy rumors.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah.
What pizza did you get? Because pizza was the first thing I ordered out when I was like, okay, I'm gonna go for it.
Pepperoni.
Okay. I went to Grimaldi's takeout. I was like, they never do takeout, but now they do. So.
Oh wow, yeah. No, I went on Seamless and I looked at the first because I don't know this neighborhood, so I just looked at the first place I could find, and it ended up being really good. Good.
Where are you usually based, if not Harlem?
Astoria, Queens.
Okay, but you don't have that place right now, or you gave it up for the?
I do, but I didn't want to go back because I thought my roommate was going back. She's in New Mexico with her family right now. And so I didn't want to be around if she was going to come back because I had done all this traveling, and I thought just to be safe, it would be better if I was alone for these next 14 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here we are, day 13.
Nice. Congrats. You're almost there. You get to come home.
I can't wait. Yeah.
Okay. Well, glad you're safe. Are you still on contract with the cruise? Are you looking for more work now, or is it like just holding what I see?
The story was that our jobs are going to be waiting for us when this one is over, but they did have to end everybody's contract to save money. But we're still getting paid. We're getting paid through, I think, June.
They're not obligated to keep you on. They're not like, oh, we signed a contract. You have to sign.
That is something that my manager is working on right now and trying to figure out.
Okay. So it's complicated.
It's very complicated because it's like we're getting into act of God type stuff now.
Yeah, true.
And that's honestly not my, I sing. That's my job. That's it. And to sit around and go down this like legal rabbit hole trying to figure out like what I paid a guy a commission to do that stuff.
You're becoming a coronavirus conspiracist. Like, it's man-made, I swear. Like, this isn't an act of God.
I got like the tinfoil hat on right now. It's crazy, dude. It's like every time you saw any kind of, end of the world or contagion type movie, it's not going down at all like what anyone predicted it would
not
be.
At all.
Because it still feels like life. It feels like normal life, but with, I don't know, I feel like I'm in between jobs right now.
Yeah.
Stay home, don't spend money, and wait it out.
That's usually the thing for like a Broadway actor, though. Right?
Yeah.
Before this, you were in Florida. Did you go? Correct?
Yeah. Yeah, I was in Florida.
You're doing a show there, so
yeah,
it's all over the place.
Yeah. Wherever the work is, that's where I go. Yeah, it's working so far.
Wild times.
Yeah.
Okay, I got questions. They're not like specific. I guess people ask these. They're not specific to you, but I'll ask them to you. Why not?
All right.
Favorite Pop-Tart flavor?
Oh, brown sugar and cinnamon.
Okay, I would have gone with like an crap. I can't even remember what it was. Like the Oreo ones. I always like the chocolate.
Okay. Yeah. No, I like the brown sugar.
S'mores.
No, the
that
s'mores,
was my
the
jam.
s'mores one.
Yeah. But brown sugar and cinnamon, I understand that. That's like the older I got.
How do you eat your Pop-Tarts?
I have to.
Actually, do you do the toaster?
I used to do the toaster, and then when I got lazy, like in college, just pop. They pop right in your mouth. They're called Pop-Tarts.
Yeah. You just go right for it. Like I like to eat the edge off first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the stuff that doesn't have any frosting on it's got to go. And then
you do that with peanut butter and jelly sandwiches as well. You're like,
yeah, just like eat around the outside, but then like I would try to eat the bottom off then, so that it would just be the frosting with a little cinnamon on it at the end. Yeah, I don't know what that was
about. Okay, next one. Most underrated soup.
Most underrated soup.
Yes, it's a good question. I haven't thought about that.
The most underrated soup. Ooh, maybe like cabbage soup.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Yeah,
cream of broccoli, but
cream of broccoli is good. Yeah, no, like especially if you do it right. There's like if cabbage gets like a brininess to it that is really delicious.
I agree. That's definitely an underrated thing. Someone asked any advice in starting a band, and I'll pertain it to you. Any advice on being an actor?
Oh, being an actor. It's a lifestyle for sure, and especially when you talk about. Oh my God! Someone just said cabbage is gross. Cabbage is not gross. It's delicious.
Clam chowder is awesome too.
Yeah, it is. It is. You get out of it what you put into it, like anything else. The more time that you practice, the better you're going to get. That's just how we're built. That's how our brains are built. That's how we learn. And if you surround yourself in that world with other people that want to be actors, not that are like trying it out for fun, but if you want to do it for a living, find other people that want to do this for a living and work together and practice together, take classes together and lift each other up to help, get your career going. But if you think that you're just going to like sit back and get one lucky audition and just book a thing and start working, it does not work like that. It's hard work. It takes a lot of discipline. And a lot of, you just got to be thinking about it all day long, because as much as you think you may be practicing, there's someone else out there that's working harder than you. There's always going to be someone and then you're going to get to a point where everyone's fighting for the same jobs. And if you try to take like the more laid back approach, you're not going to work. You're just not going to work.
It's the same with music in many ways. Yeah,
I don't know anything about your world. It's so foreign to me.
People will tell you suck, and they still tell me, it's not suck. It's like unreturned emails is the thing, right? Like, you're like, hey, how's it going? And you'll hear nothing back, and you're like, okay, they didn't like my stuff, whatever. And it's it always gets personal because like what you're offering is yourself.
Yeah.
And,
I always wonder about your world, because I'm like, I know at least with theater, I can tell you like 5 people that get things done here in New York with musical theater, or even, or it's like when you start booking shows at like performing arts centers, doing like your act around the country, like live performance, there's definitely like people, but I don't know who's in charge of your world.
I don't know either. If I knew, then
like who signs the paycheck?
It's someone who says, I'm in charge of your world, I don't know.
Yeah. Like all investors. I know nothing.
It's a free for all, honestly. It's the same thing as Broadway. I mean, there's less of it in your world, I guess. There's less key masters, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true, but I feel like that's the case. But music, like there are so many routes you can go, and there are so many people that can make decisions, and you can make your own. Everybody can be like no, and you can make your own decision, but it's the correct one, and you'll be okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is there like a music mafia?
There definitely probably is. You know, no, there is like. I feel like the major labels these days are kind of that thing because like I know so many artists and I'm friends with some of these people, but there's a lot of people that create Twitter and Instagram and all these accounts and pay for the followers, and they're pretty good singers, but they get signed to the deal because they have the following of fake Instagram followers, and then they have fake playlists and like, you know, they might pay someone to get them on a playlist. And then they suddenly have this artificial fan base that isn't built on anything like real. But there's that mafia type of thing. I you know what I mean? Like it's a rigged system.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that goes on.
Yeah,
not everything is like that.
I looked back at my email today because I was like, when did I meet Andrew? It's almost 1 year. In 3 days it'll be our 1 year anniversary.
Wow! Congratulations to us.
Yeah.
No, really? Because you played
May 25th. May 25th was like that when I reached out
Disney?
about.
But you played the Disney thing, and I think that was in like March. No.
No, that had to be like June or July then.
Maybe.
I don't know. The first email exchange that we had was May 25th.
Maybe you deleted my emails before a certain date.
Maybe. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. My Gmail, I have emails that go all the way back to like 2004.
Yeah.
All like in the archives. It's really interesting to go back and see how you handled your business back then.
Yeah.
And like the kind of person that you are now.
I don't want to.
Oh, it's
man.
cringy.
I wrote so many emails and I'm like, I shouldn't have written that. The older you get, the more you're like, keep it cool.
Right? It's like, well, who did I think I was back then? Really?
Yeah. Oh man, so many people. If I had to go back and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I wrote that," and stuff, I'd be like, "Oh man, I'd be at it for days."
If you met yourself from like 20 years ago, what would
I'd be like, chill out. Especially with like being in a Tally Hall, we had like 5 of us chiming into our manager all the time with these like opinions and what we should do and stuff, and it was torture for them. I could see it. Like I could see me like yelling about something that was so unimportant. Like it didn't matter at all. And he was like looking at the macro picture and we're so focused in the micro pictures. And I was always like, blah, 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 blah. He's like, just ignore or try to like calm everybody down. Right? And stuff like that. There's a lot of that for years. So apologies to all those people. Okay. I'm going to take more questions that were live. I have 34 questions here.
Great.
Oh my God.
Why are you also
audience, do you want to have a sleepover with me again? It's from 9-year-old. Oh, whatever. Okay. This is very personal. It has nothing to do with us. What's in your mug, Andrew? Wouldn't you like to know? What happened to Joe? Nothing happened to Joe. I just spoke to him. He's fine. Cereal or soup? Dan, you could take that one.
Cereal or soup? Cereal.
Is cereal a soup?
Oh, is cereal a soup?
Yeah.
Oh God, really?
Yep.
Oh God, it is. It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's crazy. Okay, I'm able to pop them up. So were you in the American Heathers or UK?
American. I was in the original American cast. Yeah. That's cool.
How did you escape a sinking cruise ship?
Well, it wasn't sinking. But if it was, that would make for a much more interesting story. No. We walked off. You don't have scissors? You don't have scissors?
Oh, here you
go. I got scissors.
This one's for you.
Salt and vinegar chips are too aggressive.
Yeah?
It's way too aggressive. They're like, it's a good idea when you think about it, when you're craving something like that, and then you put it in your mouth and you're like, this is way too intense.
I love salt and vinegar chips. I love intensity in food.
I can't get through a whole bag of them. I just can't.
I love hot sauce, and if anybody wants to send me hot sauce, I'm into that.
Yeah? You know, we should talk about hot sauce because I do love hot sauce.
Really? But you don't like salt and vinegar chips? I feel like they're hand in hand. They're both like aggressive things. Okay. Did you continue learning Dutch?
I did not continue learning Dutch. I know who that person is. That is one of my followers from Instagram. I was doing lives on Instagram before
There we go.
The internet got bad.
What is lives?
Oh, there we go. Yeah. She came to visit me in Animal Crossing. Like, I bought Animal Crossing and started playing Animal Crossing with my fans.
Wait, did you do that on the ship, or you did it?
Yeah, that was before the internet got bad.
Okay. I bought Animal Crossing. I talked about this. I bought Animal Crossing, and it was it seemed like it was so intense for me. Like, I was like, I have to wake up in the morning, I have to water my plants, got to get up, collect my wood, and get my stones, and it just became like a chore in my head. I didn't enjoy. And in my place, like, if you saw my Animal Crossing place, it was like a total mess of all my items just thrown in the middle of the room.
Yeah, that's what mine looks like. I just throw stuff on the floor. Yeah, but I went yesterday to visit my buddy. He's a pediatrician, and this guy is working his butt off right now with what's going on in the world. And his Animal Crossing town it's like professional level. I was so intimidated when I went in there. He's like, "Yeah, is there anything anything you need?" I was like, "I think I need everything." Like, everything. It's insane. Like, I almost just didn't want to play anymore.
Like, he's a pediatrician on Animal Crossing?
No, in real life.
In real
The guy's a doctor.
So his mind is just like, that's his mind. That's how it goes.
I guess. But I was also like, where'd you find the time, man? Like, because he showed me his rock garden. He's like, this took me like 2 weeks. It's like, how did you figure that out? Yeah. And it's like, I can't, it's wild.
I just saw someone wrote, it's good for people with mental disorders because it lets them feel accomplished by completing small tasks daily. I can totally understand that. And I think it's good for a lot of people who, like, you know, you want to escape this reality into like an alternate kind of thing. For me, it was like another thing on the checklist. I was like, oh God, this is torture. And I was like, why am I doing this? What do I win? Do I get a prize at the end?
Yeah, I do like the fact that whatever time you sign in is the time it is in Animal Crossing.
Yeah, that's great. I love like, you wake up stuff. Yeah. Sorry, I cut you off.
No.
Favorite onstage mishap?
Oh God. I know you can't see it, but I have a scar on my chin because when I was in Rent, we were doing contact, which is the number that you do when one of the characters is dying. And it's this like feverish dance, and I had to jump over someone and like snake down like that, and I went to catch myself on my hands, and my arms gave out, and I caught my body weight on my chin, and then after that we all line up in the front of the stage and we sing the Seasons of Love reprise, and we're standing there, and it feels like someone's tickling my chin like this, and I was like, huh, and the number's over, and I go like that, and it's just blood. And I was like, oh my God. And I turned to the girl next to me and I go like this. And she's got this look of horror on her face. It's this little thing, but there was so much blood. And she's like, go. And the worst part, or the funniest part of the story is I was as far stage left as you could be. I was maybe 3 feet from the wing, but I didn't walk to the left. I walked up through the set about like the longest way that I could have gone to get
thinking about it.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay, I'll take I'm gonna get one more question, maybe. Oh man, I do want to answer that. Dan, what was your role on Heathers and Glee? That's not gonna be the one.
Oh, Heathers, I played the hipster dork. It was just kind of like a hipster dorky dude, and then I covered the lead guy, JD, and Kurt and Ram. And I think that was it. And I got to go on for all of them, which was cool.
Awesome. Where did you go to school? Someone asked that.
I went to the Hendricks Institute for Computer Graphics. I wanted to make video games for a living. And that didn't work out.
Well, you're playing video games.
I'm getting
paid for it.
Yeah, I'm playing them. I wanted to make them. You know what it was? I always had like all these like images in my head that I could never get onto paper or realize in real life because I just didn't have the artistic ability. I didn't practice enough, and I just didn't get good. And now as an adult, looking back, I was actually having this conversation with a friend of mine who's probably watching this right now. Knowing now what I actually do want to do in that industry, if I ever could, would be to fully realize games and then get the people together to make it happen. like almost be like a creative director or some kind of like producer that makes those things come to life.
Okay. That is a job somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. But, you know, it's in the beginning, it was, I just want to make cool games. It was because of, you remember the game Killer Instinct?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it was that. I played it in the arcade and I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I want to make things like this. This is awesome. Yeah, that didn't work out. Now I sing for a living.
Yeah. Second, you got your second best, second life, whoever it is.
But I took my B trajectory.
Well, let's wrap this up because it's been time.
Dude, it's so good seeing you.
Good to see you too. This is the third time I've done this. I would never, like, I don't know what it is, but I have no energy to call people these days. I'm just like, I need like this. Like, this is a good reason to talk to you.
Yeah.
It's a little more.
Where are you? You're not in New York?
I got out of the city like a couple weeks ago. I'm in upstate New York.
Okay.
Just rented a house. I wasn't getting anything done, and felt a little claustrophobic, so I need to
No, I feel you. When are you planning on coming back?
In 2 or 3 weeks, I'll be back, and from there, I don't know.
Cool.
I'll probably stay in my apartment, get bored again. Yeah.
Once we can all like see each other again, let's do something.
2025, you know.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'll just show up with my hazmat suit on, and like the full.
It seems to be like we're like, you know, a year or two from getting back to socialization.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm interested to see how our industry is going to start up again. It's because so many different places are hit in different ways. I'm wondering if, you know, a concert will pop up in Wyoming versus like, I don't think New York's going to be doing anything for a long time because we're so condensed here.
Agreed.
But more of the rural parts.
Or it'll be underground, you know, like people, you know, you have to have an invite and test it. I don't know. You have to know somebody to get into a show.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
We'll see.
Day by day.
Yeah.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, good seeing you too.
Keep in touch. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Sorry if I didn't get to your questions. It's a little bit hard to talk and do the questions, but, you know, we try. Anyway, maybe I'll be back, maybe not. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it. Stay safe.
Man. Yeah, you too. I'll see you around.
Later. There we go. And